You might, Selena. Okay. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining me. This is Selena Roane, your host for Close to Death on DTM Wicked Radio. I appreciate you all joining me tonight. I've got a pretty cool guest for you, as always. We have a lot of listeners, and our audience just keeps growing. And with that, we keep getting cool guests, so that's all good. Tonight, my friend Josh Hurd is going to be with us. He is, let me just see if I can get it all just in one little swoop here. Author, musician, researcher, filmmaker, investigator, father, husband. Am I missing anything, Josh? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I think you got it.
Well, I hope so. My God. I was like, sitting there going, I was like, man, he does a lot of stuff, you know? How you been?
It's a little ridiculous. I'm good. I'm a little tired.
Good.
I'm good.
Yeah, I could see that. I would see how that would be the same way with me lately. Things have been kind of going crazy.
Absolutely.
So what's this about? Can you tell the audience just a little bit about Josh before we get started?
Yeah, I am, like you said, paranormal author, lecturer, investigator, and now filmmaker. And let's see, what else? Musician. All that fun stuff. So, my weekends are usually packed. So,
yeah, I know that feeling.
I don't sleep much on the weekend, so that's okay. But yeah, other than that, you know, I just try to pump out a book or two every year and all that fun stuff. So
wow.
Try to keep up.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that with all the kids and the wife and the life and the house and all that. It's really a juggling act. I know how that feels. I only have one kid, thank God. I can't imagine having 2 and 3. Like you and Justin are like, wow.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. Justin, I think his plate's a little fuller than mine with the kids. It's a little crazy, and we have an 8-month-old daughter right now who's just decided to start cutting all of her teeth at once. So it's been a fun ride.
Oh,
I got a lot accomplished in the last week or so.
Yeah, probably not. You're probably just trying not to kill people from being so damn tired and irritable from not getting any rest. And her being irritable is not helping, I'm sure.
No doubt.
So what is this about, this paranormal movie night thing I've been hearing you post about and stuff? What is that about? Because I know you got some big tour coming up, and we'll get to that. We'll kind of lead into that, but I want to hear about paranormal movie night. That sounds kind of cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's this coming Saturday night. We're going to do it at a winery that's just 10 minutes away from where I'm living right now. And
oh, sweet.
It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. We're going to sit down. We're going to show 4 of my paranormal documentaries that I've made so far. And then I'm going to give people a 20-minute sneak preview of the film, the full-length film that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited about it.
Well, you know what? You're starting to sound like you and Chad Kalett should maybe hook up with some things or whatever, or either not be competition, because I don't want any of this field. I'm so sick of the competition in this field.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's the reason I'm doing my little project that we'll talk a little bit about later, because I kind of want you in on that a little at one point. But the thing that I want to change about the paranormal is the way that it's such a competition. If we could just collectively come together and gather the information, I think that we would further the field so much more than trying to act like, whose EVP is better than yours. And why don't we just be glad we all got one, you know what I mean? And go, damn, dude, that was really good, and let's like I do you and Justin and y'all do me, we are friends and we like to see each other succeed. And I've been really happy to see the things that have happened, with you. I kind of, as you do, we're so busy, we watch each other on Facebook and you go, man, you're rocking it, dude, and this brush with evil thing. I know that there's a story behind that, and I want to kind of give them a little bit, not give too much away for you. But
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your documentary coming out, Mr. Josh Hurd, because pretty soon Chad Taylor's going to be going, hey, man, what's up? You know?
It's so funny that you mentioned Chad, because I love that dude. Like,
I do too. I mean, his documentaries are badass. We went to see A Blood Red Sky here in Dallas, and I met him. He was a nice guy, you know?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
He's super cool people. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's honestly, you know, I've watched a ton of his documentaries, and, you know, that's kind of like what initially started me thinking, what if I took this first book that I wrote, you know, and turned it into a documentary film, you know? And so that's what really got the wheels turning for me was, it all stems from Kalik. It really does.
Yeah. Well, hats off to Kalik, because, you know, seriously,
exactly.
he does do an amazing job, you know, and Blood Red Sky was like a, you know, it was something I wasn't expecting.
Exactly.
You're thinking it's one thing, and I'm not going to give it away because Chad will be like, damn, you know, but,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? But no, I mean, I don't want you to be mad at me the second time we see each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, really, you had to give it all away? But no, it's just it's something that you think it is not what you end up at the end, and you're going. But it was still just like, wow, mind blown. You know. So, what is Brush with Evil? Yeah, I know, right?
Well,
that was
basically, yeah, it was amazing. But so yeah, like the first book, you know, it goes into, you know, how I started investigating and things of that nature, and, you know, what really kind of put me on the path. But then it's like, oh, you know, I was still fairly young, dumb, and didn't have a lot of knowledge whatsoever as far as, like, investigating goes. And then I was sitting around, and I remember watching a couple episodes of Ghost Hunters back in the day when it first started airing, and I was like, oh, my God. And I'm like, people actually go out and, like, look for this stuff, you know? And
yeah, when they were really plumbers, dude.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
When they were still plumbers, for real.
When they were still plumbers, yeah. And I was like, oh, my God, I couldn't believe this. I'm like, they have all this fancy equipment and, like, all these fancy little geekometers and stuff. I'm like, I want to get my hands on some of this stuff. So I spent a whopping, like, $30 on some equipment and stuff, and I was like, you know, I've seen 4 episodes of Ghost Hunters. I know pretty much all there is to know, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to find some stuff. And, you know, like I said, we were in college and just, for the most part, wanting to get scared and then take off, you know? Yeah. Not really, you know, we called ourselves, you know, big bad paranormal investigators, but we really weren't anything of the sort, you know?
You just want to be. You were wannabe paranormal investigators.
And so I was like, geez, this is horrible. We show up to this place that I had heard about, you know, like, oh, it's this haunted location. It's this old abandoned chapel. I'm like, oh, well, that sounds creepy in itself, you know? Some old freaking church that's run down and decrepit and, you know, it has
funerals and stuff in it.
Yeah, and there's a cemetery literally 15 feet away. I mean, it's ridiculous. And there was hangings and things that actually are documented that happened on site. I mean, all sorts of history here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the perfect storm. So we go out there and, like, you know, bumps and creaks and cracks happen. Of course they do, because it's an old falling down building. You know? And,
like a mouse could sound like footsteps coming. It'd be a mouse.
Exactly. So, you know, it's like nothing really significant happened on the first few nights that we were there. But it was on the 4th night that we went there where stuff got serious and really quick. And we hadn't even set foot inside of the chapel. And I had a friend who was crouched down looking inside of this chapel, crouched down like a catcher would be in baseball.
Right.
He was commenting on the fact that you couldn't see through the structure. Now, there's windows, or what are window frames. The glass has been removed, you know, but the frames or whatever, you can still see the haze of the town off in the distance, and you can still see light,
Right.
And on this particular night, you couldn't see a thing inside. I mean, it was literally blacker than the night. I mean, it was crazy.
Oh.
She was crouched down, like I said, and she was looking in there and just basically commenting, I can't believe how black it is. And she was hit by something. Like, if you can imagine yourself kind of sitting in a chair and your legs extending out from your body, and you're basically now making a 90-degree angle with your body and flying backwards a couple feet, and she hit on her butt and did 2 backward somersaults. So whatever this was hit her with an insane amount of force. Woo! And, I mean, it was very, very quick and insanely terrifying. So, obviously we had enough fun for the night.
Yes, I did it. We're good.
I was like, yeah,
deuce.
Like,
we're deuces and deuce.
I mean, that was the moment where I was like, holy crap. This, you push it so far, and it's going to push back.
Yeah.
And, what happened with her was absolutely horrible. Literally for an entire week, she never attended a single class, and she was a straight-A student. Never went to class. She never ate a single meal. I mean, this is ridiculous stuff that was going on, and definitely not like her at all. Very bubbly personality, friends with everybody, just a good person. And that's when, I started saying, I need to reach out and get some help. And it took the help of a pastor, to actually, get this stuff set back right. But I mean, it wasn't necessarily a possession, I wouldn't say, but I would say it was definitely attached to her. Something very dark was attached to her.
Yeah, it sounds that way, and it gets real serious when you have to bring in any type of clergy, whether it be a Catholic priest or a pastor or whatever it is with your, religion. As Chip always says, it's always the go-to is the Catholic priest, because we've been going to those guys for the evil ones, to cast out the evil ones, since, before Christ.
Exactly.
Pretty much. And so, the thing with the place that you go to, it also, when you were writing your first book about the dangers of, paranormal investigating things, when you really don't know all the facts and you don't know what you're getting into, what you're walking into.
That was a big
part
of
the book. For sure. Yeah,
right.
I know.
Yeah, because you think about it, and at that moment, you're completely terrified, and you have no idea how
what
to help.
What just really happened.
Yeah, and all you want to do is help, and it's like your freaking hands are tied together. You have no idea what to do, and it was
you can't see this thing. You can't see this thing that's affecting her, and so, or affecting your friend. It's something that you can't see. So it's not like someone is attacking her physically, and you could kick their ass and take up for her. You can't protect her, and it is a helpless feeling. I mean, I can only imagine what that feels like, being with somebody and seeing that happen. I mean, something similar happened to Stanley not too, far back for me. It was only a couple of months ago we were there. And me and this other girl had a pretty weird experience there, and she actually got yanked. She was actually squatted down like in a catcher's, position and, or stance. And she had the Ovilus 4 was in front of her. And she said, is there anyone here? And they said, this Ovilus said her name. And then she felt like she was being intruded upon, which is so weird. I've never heard it say the person's name asking questions. It freaked us all out. We were like, what the hell? And we're like, oh, shit. And then, because I was already feeling hot. Like, it was 1 degree outside, and so I started feeling nauseous and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, she felt like she was being intruded upon as well. And me being an empath, I was getting I was just trying not to throw up on my shoes. That was the only thing I was worried about at the time. And, and why I was so hot. And then she felt intruded upon, so she squatted down in front of the Ovilus, and she goes, is this you, so-and-so? And all of a sudden, she gets yanked. You could see her arm get pulled up and pushed over, and she almost slammed into the boulders that are underneath the Stanley Hotel that they're built on. After that portion, she moved away. Some other guy moved into place. He was still warm and hot, but it was still messing with her, and then we smelled this weird smell. So we took off, and she had to actually go get, and after that, the ovulus said, when we said something else, the ovulus said yank, and it yanked her arm up and pushed her, and we were like, oh, shit, now we're leaving. That's it. Because somebody said, okay, who had the Mexican food? And I said, okay, are y'all smelling something? Because that's when we get the hell up out of here, because I ain't even equipped. I'm not no Catholic priest. I don't have any holy water on me. I'm not equipped for all that. You know what I mean? So let's take off. So I can imagine seeing someone being pushed that hard. Just seeing her get yanked freaked my shit.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what y'all all felt like, and y'all had a lot of other things happen as well after you went to investigate there, and it was not all
that's because I'm a moron, honestly. Like I switched colleges. After all of that went down, I ended up switching colleges, and I was back here in Iowa and got a whole new group of investigators together, and I was telling them basically that same story that I just told you, and they're all like, oh my God, we want to go. I'm like,
exactly, well, duh.
I'm like, no.
The creepier and scarier the better, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was like, that is not what I was getting after with the story at all. And they're like, I guess the peer pressure's a bitch. It really is. So I ended up going back, obviously. And, it was basically the exact same type of thing. 3 nights, nothing really significant going on. And then on the 4th night, again, something terrible happens. I'm not going to really get into it. But, with that group right there, they are the group that I have been with then basically ever since. And, we rarely were ghost hunting after all of that stuff happened.
Yeah.
And
you think?
It took so much effort for me to talk the guys into going back to this place, because I said what I wanted to do was basically tell the story like it's told in the book, but then take it a step farther. And I wanted to take that group of investigators back for 4 straight nights and try to actively elicit, some kind of a response from whatever that dark force may be inside of it. And I can't even begin to tell you like what we actually captured, and I'm very excited like to share it with everybody. But it was ridiculous. I'll say that much. It was absolutely ridiculous. So
wow.
I cannot wait for the film to come out.
That sounds so awesome. When can we expect to see that, actually?
We are hitting the road. It'll be March 26th is when we
Woo!
The tour.
Big dog. Hitting the road.
Okay, going to hit the road and we're going to do the Midwest portion first. And then I would like to, just because it's home, basically.
And it's cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper.
Travel is so expensive, especially when you have an entourage. You know what I mean? When you have to take a couple people with you, it's not cheap at all. If it's just you, it's one thing.
No kidding. If it was just me trucking along in my Kia going around.
Yeah. Which I'm fixing to have to get. My wife's like, you've got to get something more fuel efficient if you're going to be driving all over the flipping place doing ghost hunting and stuff. You've got, because, Chevrolet trucks, I love my truck, but it is not good on gas mileage. Just saying. But anyway, so back to the tour. So our ADD don't go squirrel like it always does. So where are you exactly starting? You're going to be up there in the cornfields of Iowa first, I would say, right? With this movie night, they get a teaser, okay?
Yeah.
And then where do you start your tour?
Cornfield. And then, so we're actually going to start everything on, March 26th in Van Meter, Iowa. Which, if you guys know and heard stories about the Van Meter monster, that's kind of part of the reason why I wanted to to go there just because it's so creepy and it's amazing. It's a cool little town. And so we're going to do that, and then we are going, my God, all over the place. And then we're going to hit, like, Omaha, Nebraska, and a couple colleges along the way, too.
Wow.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, you are coming to Texas, right? I mean, you got to come down to Texas. Okay, yeah, good.
Like, I think Texas, honestly, I'm thinking Texas is going to have to be, like, its own freaking tour. Like, I'm like,
yeah,
I can't pick. Like, where to go.
Let me tell you the hot spots, okay? Let me just tell you the good spots to actually go. And that would be Dallas, Austin,
sure.
San Antonio, and Houston. And then if you were going to go out somewhere east, I would make it like at the border of Louisiana and Texas somewhere so that they can come too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somewhere like close into that area, like even in Louisiana, but right there on the border of Texas, Louisiana. So that you're like, I'm not talking Duck Dynasty, country. I'm talking like, where Bonnie and Clyde's thing was, or something cool like that. I don't remember what that town's called, but anyway. But I can't wait to see this. I mean, you've been working on this for quite some time, and maybe you can give me some pointers on what to do with my little Spirit Quest thing we got going, because, this has been quite the whirlwind. I mean, how did it come about for you? I mean, did they call you, or did you just make it happen and you called everybody and got everybody going?
That's exactly how it happened. I basically got the idea to do this, to turn it into a documentary, and then I started reaching out to Chad Kalick's camp of people, I was like, because I had met a lot of them in the AGH family, and I was like, I love these people, and I was just asking them, hey, who do you know that can do this and all that, and then I got hooked up with the guys from the Ghost Files, who have an internet TV show on paranormal reality TV.
Oh, cool.
And so I got them from California to Iowa.
Oh, God.
And then we started having fun, so...
Yeah, we would have to. From the minute they hit the freaking ground till the minute they got their butts on that plane, we'd be working, dude, because I know that was a pretty penny.
Well, I tell you, it's been nuts because, like, those guys have seriously stayed at my house. I think they've been at my house more in 2014 than they were at their own houses.
Though, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off. I mean, because I know I've seen, some of the stuff that your teasers and stuff like that, and just from the teasers, and stuff like that, I'm really excited to see the actual product come to light, and I'm hoping that in 2015 I see you at some of these events that I'm going to be hitting. And I don't know, Justin and I were just talking about Phenomicon. We're all going to be, I'm hoping we're all going to be at Phenomicon. He said, I haven't talked to Josh. I go, well, guess what? I'm interviewing him tomorrow night. I might just ask him. Are you planning on hitting Phenomicon?
I'm always planning on hitting Phenomicon. Like, I love it.
Sweet.
And if I could somehow snake my way into, like, showing this film, that would be even better.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Well, that I'm trying to tell people is that's one people, like, when I call, like, the college campuses and stuff, because I'm the one booking the tour, too. They're all like, well, how much is this going to cost us? And I'm like, it's going to cost you $0. Like, it's not going to cost you a thing. Like, I just want people to see it. Like, that's the point, It's,
I'm not trying to make money here. I'm trying to show my passion. Yeah, I mean, we all know. I mean, and if you don't already know, the only people that really make money in this field are the people that have shows for 9 and 10 seasons on TV. Right. And they have that power to negotiate those contracts. Other than that, if you have a show on for 1 year, guess what, folks? You're still working a regular job. You still have kids to take care of. Life does not get sweet when you get a paranormal TV show, because most of the time you don't get paid. It's because of the passion. It's because of the passion that we have. It has nothing about being a star. It has nothing about any of that, you know. That's what people don't understand, is that we do all this. We don't get paid to do any investigations. We pay so much money in the equipment and gas and hotels and airfare to get to places just to have fun with our paranormal peeps. It's unimaginable. And people think we make money, and it's not that way. It cracks me up. I'm like, I wish I made money, because, wow, that'd be like, you know, if I could play football and do something that I loved and make money for it. You know what I mean? That'd be great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's about the passion.
So, it's just a labor of love. Honestly, that's what it boils down to, because you're not going to make money in the field. You're really not. And like you said, you don't get paid to investigate. I think the most I've ever got from a client was like 3 slices of pizza.
Yeah, well, I've been lucky, you know. Our little team, well, it's not little some more. We've grown pretty well, but you know, we had a client that we've been taking care of, and so far so good, and everything is peaceful at her home. But every time, like, we went twice, and we'd go out there, and she'd have a spread of food every time. You know, the last time it was sushi and all this other stuff, and I'm like, Jesus. And the first time it was just all these killer cookies. So we've gotten really lucky. But, you know, she tried to give us gas money, and we're like, no, ma'am, you know, we don't accept that. Sorry, you know, we don't do that for this. And, you know, it's just, and people have been kind of debating on that, you know, about why shouldn't investigators get paid for this, that, and the other? And that's really not what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about helping the client and learning about this whole thing.
Exactly.
We all got questions, you know. I mean, what exactly got you started in the paranormal? Just watching those shows? I mean, or did you have experiences when you were a child?
Yeah, it was like, I was probably about 13 or 14, and I lost an uncle to AIDS. And I was still struggling with everything as far, you know, I was old enough to understand the finality of death.
Right.
You know, like the fact that, okay, I'm not going to be able to speak to him ever again. But then at the same time, I was still like, well, what the hell? Like, where is he? You know, there's got to be something else. And there was so many weird occurrences that happened after his death. I mean, he was 32. He was like 31 or 32 when he passed away. I mean, young. And, you know, it was a bizarre thing. Like, he had 2 funeral services. One was at UCLA Medical Center, where he worked as a nurse. And this lady sang one of his favorite songs, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And, you know, back in Iowa, then after we had his funeral service in Iowa, we're all kind of sitting around my grandparents' table, and from the top of the steps, which was right off their dining room where we all were, this little toy radio. It was like one of those wind-up type radios.
Oh, yeah.
Would play, you know, it just, you wind it up a few times, it plays a tune, and that's that. It came tumbling down the steps and slid right underneath the table and started playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I mean, it was right at the time that my grandfather was basically telling us about my uncle's final moments, you know? And, and that, it was so crazy. It was like beautiful and eerie all at the same time. It's like everybody's crying and we have goosebumps and all, you know, it was just...
And y'all are going, what the hell just happened? But wow, that was so cool, and oh my God, I'm going to bawl now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the moment, you know, that really got the wheels turning in my head. You know, okay, there is something after all of this.
Definitely.
Something that we are not quite grasping, and something that we cannot necessarily see. But every once in a while, we can kind of pierce that veil and interact.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. You know, that's what I think all of us are trying to do. You know, and I was going to ask you, you know, what you thought about. I have this little thing, like, what are your thoughts on? So what are your thoughts on reincarnation and, like, you know, how they do your past lives?
Yeah.
You know, I've had these really strong feelings, and it was weird because my mother was so, let's just, for an example, let's say non-judgmental, very non-prejudicial. And my grandparents, however, because they were raised in a different period of time, they were very prejudicial. And I couldn't watch certain shows because of, you know, the color of somebody's skin. And it would really bother my mom, you know, like it really bothered. And it bothered me because I didn't understand that. I was raised completely different. When I got my past life told to me like a week or two ago, everything kind of made sense. It was so strange. Like I knew I had a male guardian angel, but I didn't know anything about him. And I found out he was African American, and he was a slave. And his name is Luther, and he died at 48 or something like that of natural causes and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, okay, why did he pick me? And it was because in my past life, this all goes together really weird. In my past life, my family was supposedly actually owners of Luther. And I refused, flat out refused to treat people as slaves. I just flat out refused it. And I got into a lot of heat about it. I got in a lot of trouble with my family about it because I treated them like my family and not like slaves. And so, and I realized in this life when she told me that, it was like, stuff is so weird how it like all makes sense when you're told things. And I'm like, that is why I've never been prejudiced like that. I've hated that. I think that is the worst atrocity in our nation's history is enslaving another human being. I do not understand it. I do not like it. And now I understand when she told me about my past life why I feel so strongly about that and why my mother was the one chosen for my life to come back. Now, Luther was there when I was there when he died, and I said, you told me you would never leave me. He goes, I never will leave you. Well, see, in this lifetime, he chose me as a baby, and he's my guardian angel. Wow. And he's been trying to tell me that he never, you know, he said, his words are, I told you I would never leave you. And so he's been watching me since I was born into this life. And it's so strange, you know what I mean? Just the strong feelings that I have, and my mother, and how strong of a woman she was about that, you know, and that we were both set in our ways about not treating people differently because of the color of their skin, because we all put our pants on one leg at a time. You know, we can all act like an ass, you know what I mean? We can all embarrass our races. It doesn't matter what color we are. And it just, and the division was bothering me. So it's so cool to learn about that. So what do you think about the past life and all that kind of thing? Do you think that, I mean, what do you think?
I would I would totally hop on board with the idea of reincarnation and things of that nature. You know, you always hear of people that are saying, oh, he's an old soul, or things like that, you know, and it's kind of weird when you stop and you really examine people in general and how one 30-year-old may act as opposed to another, you know, just, you know, it's just their manner of how they would, you know, carry themselves. It's crazy. Me personally, I've never had a past life regression session, but I'm very interested in the idea, and I'm actually... I'm actually going to. Oh man, it's crazy, and you know, I've talked to certain people about it.
Right.
There's a guy.
I mean, who wouldn't learn the paranormal? You know what I mean? We got people that do that all around us. You know, it's just asking them to do it and then being kind of nervous about what they might tell you. You know what I mean? You're like,
don't get me wrong. I'm nervous as hell about what. Like, what you told me.
What if I not got my past lives? Can you tell me what I screwed up?
It's like, what am I paying for now, basically?
What can I get right this time so I don't have to come back and do this shit again? You know what I'm saying?
This shit's getting old, okay? Come on.
Yeah, come on, man. This same old shit, different life. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would totally get on board with that idea, that it's entirely possible, because I think that it is. I mean,
and it's so weird.
Yeah, because people are always like, oh, they believe in this, but they don't believe in that, and yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, what do we really know? We have no idea what happens after we, shuffle off this mortal coil that we call life. We have no idea what to expect.
No, and that's the thing that I do. That's the thing that I do on my, when I'm doing my little journey here is I applaud people who can sit there and ask the same exact questions to the spirits over and over and over. And I do ask them, what's your name? Because I like to know who the hell I might be talking to, just so I can, be on level with them. Like, hey, George, how you doing, George? My name's Selena. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason I need to know, And I mean, about when you were, when you died would be kind of cool. So I can kind of look in history and know that I'm not just, being jacked with. Other than that, I don't really need to know all the stuff that happened to you back then. What I want to know is, what do you see right now? How did you get to where you are? Do you see your relatives, or is that just a bunch of BS? I want to know.
I tell you, there is something so fascinating to me. Like I was saying earlier, how my grandfather was telling us about my uncle's final moments, and how he basically had been asleep and just laying in this hospital bed asleep. And then he wakes up, opens his eyes, and everybody just kind of gathers around his bedside.
Right.
And he, one of his friends said, well, hey, beautiful. And he's sitting there, and he looks almost over everybody and through everybody, and saw something. Didn't comment in any way, but his eyes got so bright, and he had the biggest smile on his face.
Yeah.
And that's the exact moment that he drifted away. It's the same type of thing, like with Steve Jobs, who just passed away, I don't know, a few years ago at least. But he was sitting in bed, and it was a similar type of situation, and he looked past everybody, and he just says, oh, wow. And then he drifted away.
Wow. You know what I mean? Wow. Yeah. Is it the Golden Gates that you're the Golden, not the Golden Arches, that's McDonald's, the Golden Gates, I mean, is it like the golden like sidewalks and all the stuff that they talk about, because I used to joke about that when my mom, my mom's birthday was yesterday. And, she's been in heaven for almost 11 years now. And I kind of joked when, cause she would come over to our house and go, oh, honey, you need to do this, and this, trying to tell us how to decorate. And I said, well, she probably went up to heaven and told God, look here, the gold is out. It's silver times now. We need to hook this up with some silver or some plated nickel or something that looks a little bit more upbeat. But I, when we used to joke about that, I really want to see, I want to know what they see. I want to know how you get there. I want to know if you actually have a list of laundry list of things you have to do in order to gain your wing. Is it really wings you get, or is it actual physical wings, or these are the questions that gets to me. So what exactly are you wanting to know? Just that, is your transition easy? Is it, what are the questions that are on your mind?
That's a big one. That is a big one for me.
What's that?
What was it like going through that process? The
dying process.
Yeah. That is a big one for me. Were you scared? Were you in pain? Did it hurt?
Yeah, please, did it hurt at all? Because, please warn me, I don't do pain well, okay?
I tell you what, the honest answer, the most common answer that I've ever got is that it was basically like the easiest thing ever.
Yeah,
that
like
right
just releasing.
There, exactly. Now that right there gives me so much solace. Yeah, because it is kind of scary. It is kind of scary. You think
sometimes you get so like overwhelmed with life itself and how cruel the world can actually be, and it's just getting crueler. And I don't think it's any crueler. I just think there's more devices and more ways of being crazier, and we're seeing more of it because of the news and how it's covered. But when you're talking about getting into the paranormal and things like that, and I don't know, like what happened with us. Like at the Stanley, what happened with you and your group and things like that. It's so unpredictable, but dying is very scary at times, but you think, oh my God, the world is so overwhelming. I wish I could just go and meet with my loved ones and just get this over with. Just let this be done. And
right.
then when it comes that time, when people die, when they're like, I watched my best friend, slowly die, and I was helpless to help him, and it was such a painful thing to watch. And he got so fucking scared. He was like, oh my God, I'm to where he would cry in front of a crowd of people, and he would never, ever do that before. And, he was just scared to let go of the control of his life and release and let God take over, you know what I mean? And it was something to watch. It really does something to you to watch a man that you've known for 19 years being strong and barely ever crying about anything and never doing it in front of people. He would cry in front of me because I was his best friend. And then he felt comfortable with me, and I would never make fun of him for that. And, I knew things about him that a lot of people didn't know. And we traveled a lot together, but seeing him go through that, being scared of death, it kind of makes you go, damn, now I need to talk to him and say, was it as scary as you thought it was?
Exactly.
Are you okay, honey? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Is it as breathtaking as you had pictured it to be? Because, he was so afraid to leave his mom and to leave his family and to leave us.
Exactly.
That's where the scary part comes, is that you're fixing to not see those people again. All these people that are loving you all your life, you're not going to see them again. And the separation, he was having separation anxiety before he passed, So I can only imagine when you actually pass, you know what I mean, how you can want to hold on to your family and come back and visit and things like that and let them know, hey, don't forget about me, okay? Like, here, I'm going to throw this little car underneath the table so y'all don't forget about me. Or, the little radio thing underneath the table so you don't forget about me. It's really cool how that works.
Yes. And
I've gotten messages like that all the time, and that is just the coolest thing, that your whole family witnessed it, not just you.
Oh, yeah. It was ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, I mean, that's, like I said, that was the moment that I started just trying to get my hands on as much information as possible. And that was still, like, pre-internet days. You know what I mean? So, if anybody remembers those days, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the dial-up, the all that noise, and then you have to wait for it to connect and all that. Yeah. I was just thinking this morning how crazy technology is today, because I know I'm going to age myself. I graduated in '87, okay? And we had pagers and no cell phones. We had telephones on the corners for 25 cents. And, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have texting. We didn't have laptops. We barely had those little CRT things that you would use at companies to do inventory on. You know what I mean? And they were like dinosaur, And then they came out with the cell phone that had, looked like you're freaking carrying around a damn telephone booth on the side of your head. And you were trying to, like you're trying to dial up ET and shit. Yeah, you're an ugly bag. Yeah. So out of all that technology, how far we've come. But, what in the paranormal equipment that you use is your favorite? I mean, I know it has to be your audio recorder, but
yeah, like that, is a big one for me, is trying to get like the EVPs and things like that. Right. I do enjoy filming now more than ever, and that's always good for me is to have like a camera and stuff. However, you don't really catch as much as you would want, you know, so it's plugging around this camera for damn near nothing.
And looking at dust particles for hours. Yeah, oh yeah. Was that a bug? Shit, that was so cool. Damn, it was a bug.
Yeah, it's a bug.
Just a bug.
You know, I try so hard to, you know, to tap into how I'm feeling, like physically, emotionally, whatever, and especially like when something is happening or right after something is happening. It's like, okay, how the hell did I feel 10 seconds ago? How did I feel 10 seconds ago? And now how am I feeling now? And then I try to correlate my feelings with the next time that something does happen, you know, and I write all the stuff down, and so I've always said that, you know, we are personally like our own best piece of paranormal equipment.
Man, you're good. You're good.
I'm just trying, though. I'm trying.
Bam.
Figure all
good answer. Good answer, because that's exactly, you know, what I use as far, I mean, I love my Periscope. Don't get me wrong. That is like my ultimate favorite piece of equipment. But, you know, and the audio recorder is a must-have. If you don't have an audio recorder, you are wasting time. Because EVPs are where it's at. I mean, those are like undeniable evidence right there. You know, I mean, you can debunk a lot of photos, you can debunk a lot of videos, but the audio recorder is the bomb diddly when it comes to evidence. The thing is, when you're an empath, even if you're not, and you can actually use your body for an instrument, for example, with your cold spots, or, you know, you feel like you've been touched, or it feels like spider webs on you, or whatever, you know, so you can always have your personal experiences with your body. It is your best piece of equipment, actually.
I love it.
And so you did hit it on the head, you know, because, I mean, I'm a rep for Paranologies and Ghost Hunter Store, so, you know, I'd be like, oh, yeah, you know, buy this, buy that, buy that. But, you know, seriously, the body is the best piece of equipment. And have you been ever touched or scratched or physically jacked with?
I have. It's not pleasant.
No.
Yeah. I've had a couple scratches and things like that on my neck, on my back, which was weird. And then there was one time at that same chapel that I was talking about where we were literally just walking out. We were done, you know, for the night, walking out, and it felt like
not running.
No, we were just walking out. But I swear to God, it felt like I got open field tackled by some frickin' linebacker. I mean, I lit on my back, like on my back. My legs were up in the damn air, and I hit on my back, and it knocked the wind out of me. It was hard. And so, I mean, that was about as bad as it's ever gotten for me, personally, you know.
Wow.
But, oh, my gosh. Yeah, that place is just ridiculous. But
yeah, you know, me and you and Justin were talking about doing a little adventure not, you know, too long ago, and I'm not ruling that out as yet, you know, but I do want to talk to you a little bit about my adventure because I wanted you to be a part of that somehow, some way. And so hopefully Phenomicon will give us that actual chance to do so. Well, that too. My film crew is going to be up there with me. And which gives us a great opportunity to do an episode up there, you know, in Gettysburg, at York, wherever. Yeah. And I'm going to take full advantage of being in Gettysburg. It's one of my top 10 bucket list locations. And the thing that I'm going on is a quest, and that's why I called it Spirit Quest, is because it's not about me being a star. It's not me being a star seeker. It's not about any of that shit. It's about me not being an expert in any of this, and I want to learn from everyone. And I feel like everyone we come in contact with, we learn something from, whether it be living or dead. And so why can't we, as a paranormal community, come together, just everyday Joe investigators that nobody's heard of? You know, I want to see how they do it. I want to see how they communicate. I want to learn from everyone, how they protect themselves. And I want to go to different locations. And see, the thing is, I'm just lucky enough to be going to these locations. So, and the camera crew called me, so that's why they're going around with me.
That's
and
cool.
you know, so we're going to do that, and it's going to be, you know, who knows who will end up on screen, you know, and Justin's going to be with me at a couple of locations. So, you know, maybe we can get you down to Springfield, Missouri. Who knows? I don't know how maybe not, because your schedule's kind of tight around that time. But we're going to work it out, because I definitely want you on Spirit Quest with us. I mean, it's going to be really cool. But I want, you know, I know that you've been through a lot, and I want to learn more from you. I can't, you know, I can't stress enough how cool it would be to actually get to work with you and Justin at the same time, like we've been talking about for a long time.
It would be awesome. It would be so much fun.
I know, and it'll be good in Gettysburg too. And with all the STD-1 and the Echo Box and all the little toys and gadgets and stuff that we have, you know, and I'm going to have a lot at my disposal, because actually Dave Giuliano, my boss at Ghost Center Store, is going to be up there with a huge selection of all these toys we could play with. So, yeah, so we're going to have a blast at Phenomenon. So, let me see what we're doing on time here. We got a little time. I was going to talk to you about what your plans were as far as where exactly, besides the tour, are you going to be, besides Phenomenon, at any other, like, speaking engagements around, or looking to do any more speaking engagements?
Yeah, I am.
Like maybe in West Virginia? Like maybe West Virginia? Really? Like at this place called the Apollo Theater?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Great. Well, it's not the New York City Apollo Theater, but it is the West Virginia Apollo Theater, and Elvis supposedly was there, from what we've been told. And so there's been a lot of people going through, B.B. King and a lot of other people that have been through this location. And, you know, I'm kind of thinking about taking my film crew there on July 31st, August 1st, because we're doing an event there. And I would love it if you could join us for possibly, because I'm the one that's supposed to be lining up the talent for the location, and helping with that. So I would kind of like to see if we couldn't get you down there to screen your Brush with Evil.
That would be sweet. I would freaking jump on that in a second. I should also probably bring my guitar too.
That would be really cool, because, you know, Keith Ramsey from Deep South Paranormal, you know, if I get Randy to come up there, he'd feel right at home, because Keith Ramsey, you know, used to close out every Deep South with a song, right? And I haven't heard you do your thing, you know. I want to hear about JB Acoustic first before we leave.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to know, I know what Josh, you know, J stands for, but what's the B?
Yeah. The B is for Brad. And Brad is, basically it's just me with the acoustic guitar and my friend Brad that plays drums. And it sounds like a weird mix. But I swear to God, like, it is the most fun I've ever had, like, playing music. And we play all over the place, and we just have a blast doing it, you know? It's a nice form of therapy. It's a long week, you know. Yeah,
I'm sure of it. You know, I just am so excited that you're going to come to Texas. I'm so excited we're going to be at Phenomenon. I look forward to talking further with you about the Apollo, and I wish that you could actually make it to Sloss Furnaces with us in 3 weeks, because is going to be the most amazing event. We're going to have, just so everyone knows, Justin Spurrier and I'm Josh's friend. We're going to be at Sloss Furnaces over the Halloween, Valentine's weekend, and we're going to be actually filming. Not only is Carol's film crew going to be there filming, and they're going to be doing forensics at Sloss Furnaces.
Ooh.
Yeah, which has not been done, and we're going to be filming a lot, because Spirit Quest will be filming our first episode at Sloss Furnaces, and we should have our first episode out before the end of March as well. So I think we'll be both showing our little episodes around about the same time. So maybe if we meet up in at the Apollo, and we can get you hooked up with that. I would love to hang out with you after June too, you know, because Phenomecon's June. So what else you got going on besides the Phenomenon and the tour? Is that it? And music?
Yeah,
pretty much covers it.
Music, baby, and
baby,
baby,
eating.
And, yes, and I'm trying so hard. I'm working on a book right now with a friend, and then I'm also working on another book that I'm trying to hopefully get out by the Halloween season. We'll see if that actually works or not.
Damn, you go, dude. I've been trying to start on my book. All I can do is research, and then I'm like stuck. So I've asked for assistance on my book. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I've never written a book in my life, and I am so ADD. It's so hard for me to sit down and do stuff like that I just have a hard time. But I'm working on it. But where can everybody find you if they wanted to get possibly your book, or find you when you're singing around Iowa or wherever, and about the tour? You know, because we want to know more about the tour and where you're going to be.
The best place to do that would be like Facebook for sure. Just look at, I think it's Josh Hurd 1981 on Facebook. Check that out. It's like an author page. And I put all sorts of fun stuff on that. And also joshhurd.net is my website, where I really need to like update the website.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I have to get my girl to do my website, because I don't even know the first thing. So
it's like Greek to me. I'm terrible.
Yeah, I'm like yeah.
And then Twitter at JoshHurd1981. So that's basically where you can find me. All the good stuff like that. I also am trying every week to do a podcast that you can find. It's called The Ectoplasm Show. You can find that on iTunes. I think we've got like 13 episodes down right now. I don't know. It's me and my friend Myron, and we sit around and we just bitch at each other. And,
okay.
Like, because I'm the ghost hunter guy, you know, and Myron is like a hardcore skeptic. So he thinks that everything I do is complete horse shit. So him and I go back and forth. It is so much fun, though.
That's greatness.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Well, I really appreciate you being on tonight, man. I've had a blast. I know my audience has enjoyed it, because you know, we've talked about all kinds of good stuff. But you've got to come back on when the tour starts, and we'll talk about how it's going. All right?
Yeah, thank you so much, Selena.
Hey, you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon about the Apollo, okay?
All right, sounds great.
All right, have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody, that was Josh Hurd. You know where to find him on Facebook, and joshhurd.net on his website. Please be patient, and he will update it. He is coming to a town near you, mostly in the Midwest here, coming in the March area, probably March 26th, I believe he said it started. So check that out. JB Acoustic is his band, and it's pretty awesome. So check all that out. Check out his Brush with Evil that's coming towards a town near you. I wanted to also let you know about a couple of events coming. Sloss Furnaces coming up February 13th and 14th, and my crew will be there, Spirit Quest. We will be filming for our first episode that will be released the last part of March before April 1st. That is our deadline. If you look on Facebook at Spirit Quest for the Facebook page, like it, check it out. We could be coming close to you. We've got all kinds of locations that are going to be lined up. In March, we have Ozarks Phenomenon, which is in Springfield, Missouri, at the Shrine Mosque. Check that out. They have a Facebook page as well. I also have all these postings on Close to Death Facebook page. FEAR Paranormal Society, check that out. We have next week Renee Marie. She is a very cool lady, and you will enjoy talk about past lives and out-of-body experiences and astral projections and all that cool stuff. So you have to join us next week. We want to thank you for coming and listening in, and next week should be cool too, so please join us. Have a great week, and thank you, Syntex Roof Systems, for being the sponsor. Peace out.